Here we are back with Pillars of Eternity. This is going to be great. Last time we finished, we're here at the Copper Lane. Last time we finished up with Pernisk, the drug dealer Pernisk, and his ring. So now we decided to go in here, into this, was it Guild Hall? Admet's Den Expedition Hall. I don't know what we should expect to find in there, but we're pretty much just not focusing so much on quests at the moment in this city because there's so many locations that we're simply just exploring all these places and see what we run into. But now we are here at the Expedition Hall. You must be the stronghold to... no pause there. Admet's Den. So this is where we're going with our party. Oh, we gain a level up.
The dozens may not like us foreigners much, but they certainly don't mind taking our coin. Aloth
just gained a level up simply from going in here. That was a bit surprising.
Yes.
Well, let's look into that right away. I should mention, though, that it's been quite some time since my last episode in this game. Not in regards of the channel, but since I played the last time, because I normally... instead of just playing one game for an hour each week, then I normally play a lot of hours in one game before switching over to the next, and then it can take some time before I'm coming back, and that's actually what has happened with this game now. So it's been a month and a half since I was in this game last, which means that I might have forgotten where I was in Copper Lane. We'll look into that as we get there. So sorry if I go into the same places once again. I do remember I got a pistol last time, and I have no idea really what to do with our firearms at this moment. As you know, if you have been following this series, is that I'm really still struggling with how to build my characters, both in regards of equipment and in regards of skills, abilities, spells. It's quite complex, I think, and I'm struggling to wrap my head around it properly. I've been trying watching a lot of YouTube videos, seeing a lot of guides, not the cheat kind, but the ones explaining how this system works, and I don't feel like I've learned enough yet. We'll look into that as we go, but for now, let's focus on Aloth and his level up, which I believe we do over here somewhere, or how is it? Or does it happen automatically in this game? No, he has to choose new spells, doesn't he? It's in his grimoire. You see, I actually don't remember what I should do with my level up. Does it just happen automatically? Isn't there something for me to do? Am I confusing it with Baldur's Gate and all the others of that kind of game? No, there should be something to do with the level up. You have the... There it is. There it is. Yeah. I remember now these skill points. Great. Okay. So I still have 7 points left, or I have 7 points now. I probably kept some from last, I don't know, because it's getting expensive to gain further levels. You can see here I'm focused on lore with him. I mean, the stealth part I don't really see a point in. I'm not the sneaky type, so what I need stealth for, as I understand it, is just to make sure we find all the hidden stuff when we are doing that, and we only need one character for this, and that's obviously not him, so I don't see the point of bumping him up on this. I think I'm just going to spend 6 points to advance his lore, and then save this point. Yeah, I'm going to have to because they all cost more. And then I can learn new level 3 spells. One new spell. Okay. Let's look at what we have there. Arcane Dampener creates a nullifying field of antagonistic magical energy around the chosen point, suppressing all beneficial effects on enemies in the area of effect. So I use this to remove any buff that my enemies has got. That's the point of this one. Arduous delay of motion. alters the perception of time for enemies in the area of effect, lowering their speed and movement. That sounds great. So they get a decrease on attack speed and on move. I like this one. I think this is a good one. That will be beneficial to all my party members when fighting an enemy. But does it hit anyone in the area or just the enemy? Enemies in the area, so if I have allies in the area, they should not be infected. That's how I read it anyway. Conceal Horde's draining touch. The caster's hand becomes a toxic parasite, causing corrosive damage to the target, weakening it and converting its life force to the caster as endurance. Okay, so this is some kind of life drain. I take life from them and give it to myself. That's also some kind of healing. But this is a melee thing, as I understand it, as I need to put my hand on them. Also sounds very good, honestly. Deleterious alacris. Okay, this I cannot pronounce. Deleterious alacrity of motion. Whatever. Caster draws upon his or her life force to gain an increase to speed and movement while draining his or her own endurance. See this? I don't see the point of this one because, yeah, well, I increase my own speed, but only me, not my party members, and I sacrifice my own endurance in doing so. Then the delay of motion would be better, because if I slow all enemies, that would be the same as giving a higher speed to all my allies, and there's no downside to this, so I don't really see the point of that one. Exposed vulnerabilities. Bears the enemy's combat vulnerabilities for all to see, reducing their damage reduction, deflection, and concentration. This is also a good one, but I think we have other features on other characters that does the same thing. I don't think I want to focus on that. For now, this is the most interesting one as I see it. Then we have Calicott's Minor Blights. Creates a ball of energy in the caster's hand that can be thrown at an enemy, causing burn, freeze, corrode, or shock damage to anyone caught in the area of effect. Blights are continually replenished until the spell ends. What does that mean? Blights are continually replenished until the spell ends. Does that mean that this area will continue to have this? I don't know. Okay. Lengrath's displaced image causes the caster to appear visually displaced, increasing their deflection and reflex for the duration. Additionally, many deflection and reflex attacks that score hits will be converted to graces. So I'm harder to hit, that's pretty much it. Interesting also. Ringrim's Repulsive Visage. The caster's face becomes a nightmarish mask of rotting insect-infested flesh or other images of unspeakable horror, compelling all nearby foes to become terrified and sickened. Yeah, I have something along the same line with my barbarian. I think I really like this delay of motion. I think I'm going to go with that one. And then I need to choose a talent. One talent, and here, yeah, I can choose a class talent: offensive, defensive, and utility. This is where one of the points where there are so many choices that. Oh, these are extra spells. That's always good for a spellcaster, I think. I think I'm gonna. Can I get that for level 3? No. I'd like to see my spells. Can I see my spells before I make this decision? Because I feel like going for one of these bonus spells. I believe that's always good. Bonus second level spell. I don't remember if I prefer my first or second level spells most. Can I go back without cancel level up? Yeah, let's do that. Just to make sure I choose the right thing. No, inventory. Oh yeah, the fireball. So, that's third level. That's not interesting. This one, minor missiles, minor missiles. I like. Fan of Flames I also use a lot. I haven't had that much success with the Rolling Flame. Where you find a critical land. Yeah, okay. I could use both the first and the second level. I think I'm going to buff up the first. First? So, let's click back here. And we go for one extra lore. We choose Delay of Motion. And then we go for a bonus first level spell. Gain an extra spell cast of level 1 spells. Yeah, I like that. Next. And done. Thank you, Alath. Let's save it here. Okay. Then I should look at my grimoire so I can equip my new spell, because it's probably not there automatically. So if I go to level 3, I have the Fireball, I like that one. Crackling Bolts. Bounding Mist. Oh, these are so good, all of them. Noxious Burst spews forth a poisonous cloud of foulness that causes corrode damage and leaves victims sickened. Summons 3 missiles that pierce through the target and leap to 2 additional targets each. That's an upgrade of this one, I guess. And the Crackling Bolt. You see this one? I don't know. I think I've been reluctant using that, I think. I fire this bolt in a straight line, hitting everything on its way, and then it bounces off his walls, and it can hit my own people then. You know what? I think I'm going to skip that one and go for the Delay of Motion instead. Okay. Let's head in here, see what we got. I should also, I think I'm going to check out Sagani again, because I got her pretty late, so I haven't really dived that much into her yet. What kind of character is it that she is? I can see that over here. She's a ranger, yeah, I figured so. And she has this wolf with her. Isn't it a wolf? Ichomak. That's great. You've got a huge party.
What is it?
Still haven't figured what this pet can do for us, though. Okay, let's start talking to... These are not named characters, but let's talk to them anyway.
Nice and quiet.
Oh yeah, this is the stealth button, so... Yeah. I'm not going to stealth around in here, so sure. Let's speak to the first mercenary. I've been on a few expeditions. Good money if you return in one piece. Yeah. We're the ones who beat Retsurus in the Saints' War. Okay. Forget the keep. Admet's Den is the real heart of Defiance Bay.
Keeping an eye
sorry.
out.
This is a... yeah, that's a habit from another game, that I keep pressing the Alt key. Also trying to turn the camera around is also a bit... Okay, so it would be stealing to loot what's on this table. Uh-oh. They look heavily equipped. Bandolier. A well-groomed man steps through the hall with a confident swagger, a smug grin etched on his face. He's flanked by 5 other hard-looking individuals. One of his companions eyes you for a moment before spitting chew at your feet. Another pup come wandering in, I see. Just know that binds giant slayers run things around here and you'll be fine. Never heard of them? Can I join? I think I'll say you never heard of them. His eyes narrow. You have now. Stick around Defiance Bay and you will again. Plenty of bounties to go around, but there's a reason the giant slayers get the lion's share. Remember that. The voice bellows across the hall. Enough, jabber, Bine. You're gonna do the job or talk about it. His jaws tightens. Waynon's right. That coin ain't going to collect itself. He looks at his comrades and jerks his chin towards the door. See you around, pup. So, they are mercenaries, bounty hunters, and they see us as competition. Probably gonna run into them later, I guess. So these people over here are named characters. Let's see what they have to say. Clero Sema. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this man's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. Yeah, I've seen that kind of thing a lot. You see this Orlan cautiously making his way down a dark stone corridor. His eyes are wide and he's constantly looking over his shoulders, every noise making him jump. He appears dressed for adventuring, but his armor is ill-fitting and his pack refuses to stay on his back. I know that. I'll try that. Another sound reaches his ears from behind him and he spins around, peering into the darkness, trying to discern the source of the noise. He stands there for several seconds, holding his breath, staring. When nothing happens, he lets out a relieved sigh and turns to continue walking. His pack slips from his shoulders and cooking implements tumble out, sending a clattering din down the quiet hall. He freezes, listening in the tomb silent aftermath of the accident. Booming footsteps reach his ears from behind him. He lets out a little squeal and runs away from the approaching creature, clattering through his spilled gear. The footsteps speed up, and the Orlan squeals again, hurrying down the hall. There's a guttural growl close behind him, and he turns to see an ogre emerge from the darkness behind him. The squeal becomes a yell, and he puts his head down and breaks into a run. The ogre steps on the spilled gear and lets out a bellow of pain, breaking stride and looking down at his foot as it continues to hop forward. Panicked, the Orlan hits a tripwire pulled across the corridor without even noticing it there. It knocks his feet out from under him and he tumbles to the floor, rolling a bit before ending up on his back. He lifts his head slightly and looks down the hall. The ogre has regained its stride and running at him, hand out intent on grabbing him. Both Orlan and ogre are unaware of the battle axe swinging a deadly arc through the air, accidentally tripped by the Orlan. The axe buries itself in the ogre's face, stopping it in its track. Hand extended, blood making a trail down his face and dripping to the floor. The Orlan stares wide-eyed as the ogre goes limp, its weight slowly pulling it off the axe with a wet sucking sound. It comes loose and falls, eliciting a final squeal from the Orlan, who scoots backwards to avoid getting squashed by the falling ogre's head. After a few moments, processing what's just happened, the Orlan quickly scrambles over the ogre's body and runs down the hall toward the exit. Okay. Talk about being lucky. Stepping into a trap, actually turning it into your own advantage. That was fortunate for him. So, what has the other one experienced, if that's what it's about? Corin? You see 3 human boys walking through a city street, pushing each other and joking with one another. They stop, one of them pointing down the road, and look at each other. This Orlan, though younger and smaller, is the target of their attention. She has a handful of coins that she passes from hand to hand and is moving toward the marketplace. The boys move quickly, working their way around her through the crowd until they form a line in front of her, herding her into a shadowy corner away from the main thoroughfare. The boys taunt her, accusing her of stealing the coins, talking over her protests of innocence. They threaten her, telling her they will turn her over to the city watch for thievery if she doesn't give them the coins because they can help at least 3 unfortunates with the money. One of the boys reaches for the coins, but she pulls her hand back. He cuffs the side of her head and grabs her hand, forcing it open, letting the coins drop into his palm. The boys laugh, thanking her for her service, and then disappear into the crowd. The Orlan looks around, tears welling in her eyes. She spies a member of the watch and runs over, telling him that she was just robbed. The guard is unmoved, informing her that if he helps, she's just going to let it happen again next time. She protests, telling him that it's his job to help, but the guard is unmoved and unmoving. She stares at him for quite some time, fury burning behind her small eyes. Without saying another word, she turns and storms off, her face set with resolution. With resolution? Is she gonna go after them? Well, we'll probably never find out. So, here's Wenan, the guy talking to those merchants. Let's see what he has to say.
Don't stand on ceremony. State your business.
This rough-looking man glances at you briefly as he scans the mercenaries milling around the room. Well, Should we start with asking about... Tell me about the dozens. Waynan's expression becomes serious, the timbre of his voice deepening. Good men and women trying to walk in the footsteps of great men and women who came before us. We're a loose association of warriors and expeditionaries in the Deerwood. Not as fancy as the Crucible Knights, mind you, but at least we remember our roots. At least they remember someone else's roots and pretend to be like them, he means. Ada says. Your roots? The Crucible Knights take pride in having won the Deerwood's freedom 150 years ago, but we're the ones who protected it. Everyone knows that the Saints' War ended when the Goldhammer destroyed Waidwen at Evandour Bridge. A lot of folk don't know how Waidwen wound up on that bridge. 7 men, 5 women. They walked out of Halgard's citadel and faced down a guard, held him until the tomb went off. He thumps the table. That's the legacy we defend. Some call us mercenaries, but we don't need matching armor and silky cloaks to resemble our roles. To remember our roles, sorry. We're the same now as we were then. We stand up for the people, first line of defense, whatever it takes. We've got new enemies now. If it's not Waidwen, it's his damned legacy. It's the damn soul butchers in Brackenbury making things worse on all of us. Probably causing the whole thing one way or another. Well, we haven't gone anywhere, and there's a lot more than 12 of us now. We defended Deerwood once. We'll do it again. Waynan casually nods you your way. His eyes continue to float from mercenary to mercenary as he speaks. What else do you need? Oh, I'm looking for work.
Go see Osric. He's usually got something. You do well for him, maybe I can find you more.
He looks you up and down. Finally, he points to a man leading drills. Okay, where's this guy? Further back? Daggers mark the locations of various Engwithan ruins. Notes posted around the map. Lists bets on current expeditions. Okay. Quite dark in here. Oh, what's going on? Are they practicing? Yeah, some kind of training area. This is locked and it is red, so it's probably stealing to go there. Can't see the name there.
For the last time, Aidwig, keep your fucking blade up. If that dummy was armed, it'd have your head off.
This man watches the training adventures with the disinterested contempt of someone whose skills are wasted in this setting. He barks at one of them. Should we start by telling me about the expedition hall? It's treasure hunting, plain and simple. Sponsors put up money, hire adventurers to explore the wilds looking for ruins mostly. If they come back alive, they split the spoils. If not, it's because they handle their weapons like this lot in front of me, who might as well be digging their own graves right now. Got business with me? I'm not in the need of an adventure, but I'm looking for work.
You want an expedition? Talk to Wenan. I just handle these mercenary shit shovelers. Adventurers, I mean.
Wenan clears his throat in the background, and Osric's mouth puckers. Although, he sizes you up, I do have something I need done. Something that requires... He glances sidelong at an adventurer, flailing away helplessly at a dummy. Competence. What do you need done?
I was formerly one of the Knights of the Crucible. When I left, they kept my arms and armor. The arms they can have, but the armor belonged to my family. I'd like it back.
So we're gonna take it back from the Knights of the Crucible? That sounds dangerous. Why don't you just go ask for it back?
No. Oh, they'd like that, I'm sure. But I won't be going. Sooner be torn apart by dogs than give them the satisfaction.
Osric looks away from you, his jaw protruding. Doesn't sound like leaving the Crucible Knights was your choice.
You don't choose to leave knighthood. The Crucible Knights, they may not be a real knighthood, but the oaths you swear are just as true.
Stares off a moment.
Still, Turns out that even unofficial knighthoods have politics. You cross the wrong man, suddenly all kinds of accusations are thrown your way, and nobody believes you.
Yeah. That's the world. Nothing more destructive than a crowd with the wrong idea. What is this armor?
It's a breastplate. Not much to look at, and it's seen far too much use, but it's been in my family since the liberation.
I'll see what I can do.
And then it's Penhelm you're looking for. A low snake of a man. If he was to die choking on his own black tongue, it'd be too kind a fate. He kept it when he had me kicked out.
He leans in closer. I got word from a reliable source that Penhelm visited a forger in Andra's gift right after having his soul lineage read by a cipher in Dinrid Rao. Should you have it in your heart to find a way to ruin his life while you're there, well, drinks on me. Having his soul lineage read?
It's a requirement to join the Knights. They have to ensure a novitiate doesn't have a subversive lineage. If Penhelm's superiors found out his affidavit was a fake, his career would be over.
Oh, interesting.
Every novitiate gets an affidavit from Dunreed Row, and those are stored at Crucible Keep. If you find Penhelm's, one of those ciphers could tell you if it's real.
Sagani scratches the back of her neck. If generations of Masak's traditions are any indication, this Penhelm probably doesn't remember it. Still, past like that has to count for something. Okay, I don't need an adventurer, so let's just end it here. Rogue Knight. Can we speak to these adventurers? The outer bands of this target are pucked with countless holes. So, not a very good archer here. What's wrong with looting? No one's touched those artifacts in centuries.
Hello?
Oh yeah, I did it again.
Hello?
Someone scrolled Commander Cliver across this dummy in chalk. Don't mind Osric. The keep chewed him up and spat him out. He's still angry. Forget the keep. Atmas Den is the real heart of Defiance Bay. I heard that one before. Doc Avar is a man of the people. He won't let this animancy nonsense go. Okay, nothing more to do in here as I see it. So I think we should head back out. So we got a new quest. And maybe I should start looking into those quests. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I don't actually remember if I've been in all the buildings on this map. That's the disadvantage of no fog of war.
Sagani, does your fox bite?
Yes,
Can I pet him anyway?
it's your hand.
I'm gonna pet him.
Okay, go ahead. So it's a fox, not a wolf. Okay. Goose and the Fox, that's some kind of bar. Pernisk's house, there we were, I think. And this is where the lady that gave us the quest up here with Pernisk was. Probably is all we have explored in this map, I think. Then, of course, the marketplace as we went through it. Spoken to these people, obviously. I'm not going to trade now. So I feel like heading up here. Oh, what did the quest say about this Rogue Knight thing? He believes his rival might have forged a document from Dunreed Row verifying the purity of his soul. If I can prove Penhelm's forgery, I may have some leverage to... yeah. So I need to get to that document. Dunreed Row, whatever that is. This is Pernisk's house. There we have been. This here is Lumdala's house. I don't think I've been there. If I have, I'll probably realize it pretty soon and get out. Doesn't ring a bell. There's a picture over here. Nobody's home. Or the painting depicts the famous scene from The Light of Dawn, in which the traveler and the ghosts happen upon a starving man. Interesting story. Nobody seems to be at home, but it's not stealing to go looting up here. Sugar? Okay, so I've obviously not been here. It's a very empty house. What's in here? Book. Glanfath Part 2, Conflict and Unexpected Alliances. In 2652, everything started to deteriorate. It was uncovered that a number of ruined sites had been looted, and all signs pointed to the adherents breaking the treaty. Glenfathans held off judgment for as long as they could, but when the evidence became overwhelming, they retaliated with all the strength they could muster. Recht once again took up the mantle of leadership and led his people against the adherents. Instead of facing Edrang Hadred again, this time Recht crossed swords with Admeth Hadred's Edrang's son. Admeth proved to be just as, if not more, capable than his father, and used a tactic no Glenfathan expected. In order to clear out the battlefield and ensure that there would be no place for troops to hide, Admeth set the entire forest on fire near the Iski Ua River and blocked all retreating forces within his army. While some escaped the slaughter, most of the Glenfathan troops died. Recht was captured in the mayhem and transferred to New Heomar for holding. While many more battles occurred, some of which resulted in Admeth using the same tactic, the Glenfathan forces were now disorganized and had lost their resolve. They were easily routed, and by the end of that same year, the War of the Black Trees, as it is known, was over. In order to again repair relations between the two groups, Admeth introduced new laws restricting the taking of new slaves from Glanfath. The laws also gave Glenfathans the opportunity to buy their fellows out of bondage. While not entirely happy with the prospect of having to buy their countrymen who had already been free, the Glenfathans took this gesture as the goodwill it was and ceased the hostilities again. 7 years with the Deerwood and the Admeth rule. 7 years pass with the Deerwood and under Admeth rule. The Glenfathans felt for the first time that true peace could return to their land. This peace led to what is likely the biggest treaty negotiation between Glanfath and the Deerwood in its history. Admeth set into place the 10 years treaties, so named because it had been 10 years since the War of the Black Trees. A timeline was set, and at the end of it, all Glenfathan slaves had to be released. The citizens of Glanfath watched the Deerwood with a cautious hope. With the extended peace between the two peoples and these new treaties, they truly hoped conflict was a thing of the past. In 2665, Galvin Medra, an elven woman who had taken over for Recht, brought news to Admeth. Some Deerwooden people were found taking artifacts from one of the tombs. Initial investigation uncovered several more that had already been plundered. As they seemed to be isolated incidents and it had been stopped early, Medra did not want a war to start again after so long being at peace. Admeth was grateful for this courtesy and wasted no time tracking down who was responsible. Medra gave Admeth use of his Brisholgwyn mind hunters, and with their help found evidence pointing directly back to the Ferkonying. Admeth and Medra, now jointly allied against the Adiran Ferkonying, used everything at their disposal to prevent the Ferkonying's agents from getting into the ruins. In 2668 AI, when Admeth declared independence from Adir to create the Free Paladinites of Deerwood, and the Glenfathans stood behind him, offering their supports and troops. While the war didn't affect the Glenfathan people directly, there were casualties. In the end, the Deerwooden people became free and the bond between the two people were strengthened through their shared suffering. Admeth became the beloved as ruler of the Deerwood, known and respected by the Deerwoodans and Glenfavans alike. So much lore with so many countries and so many names that I'm struggling to keep it all straight. I don't know how important it's going to be in the long run, but there is a lot to it. Here, though, I realized that the sensibility of leaders kept a fragile piece together instead of going at each other's throats. That's pretty much what I gathered from this. This house is completely empty, it seems. See what's in here. Oh, it's locked. Stop. Unlocking this will require the proper key, which I do not have. Can't I just use my mechanic skill and thieves tools or whatever? Okay, so I can't do anything in here until I get that key. And I have looted everything, right? Did I take everything here in the back? There's nothing else to do? No. Okay. Didn't miss anything in here either? No. Okay. Probably cannot do anything about this yet then. We'll check it out later. So if we look at the map, all that's up here is to the world map, but here is Scrivener's dormitory. I think we're gonna go there. So that's here, I guess. Let's see what we can do there. Spilled tea, empty ink pots, and one detailed sketch of a fire-breathing old dwarf are all that remain of a long study session. Okay. This would be stealing, so I'm not gonna do that. Corin, should I just speak with him for a start?
Well met, friend.
My Will's eyeless face, you're a one-short ogre, but why are you green? And how are you getting the ducks to keep flying around you like that? What? No, oh, survival too. Let me guess you... Yeah. Let me guess you smoked a lot of white leaf, or did you get your hands on some snowcap? He claps his hands and laughs. Snowcap! Snowcap! So few people know snowcap. Much less ogres. He beams at you and nods his head. You're a scrivener? He nods. Yes, I am a scrivener. I read books, write books. I once ate a book, but only because it looked like sweet pie. Or perhaps it was sweet pie baked in that looked like a book. Interesting. Oh, I'm also a collector of herbs, flowers, plants. I sell them. Mostly I eat them. Okay, tell me about the dormitory. It's where the scriveners work in the Hall of the Revealed Mysteries sleep. It's where the scriveners who work at the Hall of the Revealed Mysteries sleep. I'm a scrivener. He sniffs. This place smells like old stockings. So, what have you got for sale? What should I sell, actually? I mean, I still get these headgears, which I don't really get the point of, because it doesn't look like I can do anything with it. It's the same with this one, male coif. Oh, sorry. I think I'm just going to sell it. This one as well. And these things I'm going to keep because I might need them. Battle axe. I need that? Don't think so. Oh, books we can sell because we already read those. Can I sell that much? I think we went through the armor. Like that, perhaps? Well, we do get a lot of cover from that. He has a lot of not very interesting things. I think it's crafting things, I guess. These look like some kind of monks. We'll go for them later. But now let's check this out. The sturdy bunks are topped with their thin blankets and even thinner mattresses. See, this has difficulty of 2, so I can open it, but it's red, probably because it would be considered stealing to do so. And then I am obviously not gonna. Stealing as well here. So, let's visit these people down here. Scrivener. You must be here for Corin. I don't know how Corin's hidden his little racket from... Oh, excuse me. Someone's been sneaking naughty pictures from old Valia into the dorm. I won't say who. Okay. Naughty people. It smells like old stockings in here. I've had that one before. The pay's good. I live close to the library and I can read as many books as I want. Okay, he's happy. That's good. A rancid stench rises from the basin. The dishes at the top of the pile are flecked with morsels of meat and cheese. Those at the bottom are coated in a slimy fuss. And stealing again. So nothing really more in here. Did I go in here? Yeah, I did. Nothing there. Somebody speaking over there. Is that a scrivener also? Yeah, it is. I love the smell of old books. Historian. You see a small crowd gathering near the entrance to a temple. This man stands against the wall, the crowd forming a semicircle around him. He speaks with a calm, measured tone, his soothing voice carrying over the sounds of the surrounding city. He speaks of the world, history, the gods, and religion. He speaks of cooking, brewing, child raising, and old wives' tales. There does not seem to be a subject he lacks at least a passing knowledge in. People ask him questions and he answers them in return, sometimes being detailed and in-depth, other times only giving a general answer. Regardless of what is said, all of his answers seem to hit to the heart of what was asked, each person satisfied with what they've learned. People come and go from the crowd, its size growing and shrinking but never completely dissipating. Hours passed and he never seems to tire, sharing his knowledge with anyone who would benefit from it. As the light of day wanes, the group finally growing small enough that he draws everything to a close. As he gathers his belongings and prepares to leave, a man approaches him, asking why he does this. He asks for no money, no food. What benefit is gained from his actions? He looks at the man, gathering his thoughts, then simply tells him, "Knowledge brings wisdom. That is my faith." Okay. And Oleg Shimanovsky. You see a dark room, its contents in disarray. The blinds are pulled against the light and the sound of shouting and running can be heard outside. This man moves through the house, throwing items into a bag. He wraps up some food, collects some clothes, and searches through a chest for various odds and ends that resemble magical components. He stops at a bookshelf and quickly scans the spines, running his fingers along them to help keep his place. He sighs, sliding his finger across the spines again, mumbling to himself. Finally, he chooses a couple of titles and takes them from the shelf, adding them to the assortment of items he has already gathered. A small group of squirrels and birds watch him as he passes through the rooms, moving almost as a single entity. They are trying to stay near him, but also seem to know to stay out of his way. He's obviously in a hurry, but he maintains a deliberate demeanor about everything he does. The outer door bursts open with an explosive sound, causing the animals to scatter, terrified. The man turns, bringing a hand up, holding a book in his other, whispering something that barely can be heard. Ice crystals begin to form at the tip of his fingers, crackling against the heat of the room. He sees the man standing in the doorway and immediately drops his hands, the ice vanishing as quickly as it appeared. The man in the doorway gestures, telling him to hurry, and points towards the horizon somewhere outside. The man in the house dismisses him with a wave, saying it's almost done here and he will be coming soon. He scans the dwelling one more time, searching for something he might have missed. Satisfied, he leaves, not even bothering to close the door. Outside, he can see people all prepared as he is, traveling away from town, away from the rising plumes of smoke on the horizon. Okay. Justicia, is that some kind of guard? Speak with him? We're the greatest fighting force in all of the Deerwood. Okay. So I can go up these stairs to the Hall of Revealed Mysteries, or I could go to the First Fires or the catacombs. That's what I'm missing. Let's just take it in order. Let's go up here. Another scrivener. Someone's been shelving improperty when fixed. Okay.
Keeping an eye
Oh,
out.
sorry. So what are we at? We are at the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. Oh,
I could while away hours in here. If we had the time, of course. Do we?
Well, not now, that's for sure. But a lot's going on in here. Let's speak with her first. Welcome to the Hall of Revealed
How do you do?
Mysteries. The woman barely glances up from the tomes on the table as you approach. You're welcome to browse the stacks, but mind that you keep your voice down. This is a temple, after all, and Grimder doesn't tolerate disorder. Who's Grimder? Fixer speaks reverently. Why, she's the High Archivist. She's one of the most accomplished scholars alive today. Nothing goes on here without her knowing about it. Almost nothing, anyway. She scratches behind her ear. You should probably tread lightly around her today. Anything else? This is a temple? It looks like a library. Her eyes grow wide and round. That's because it is. Whale is the god of mysteries and answers, encryption and decryption, concealment and revelation. She raises her hands to the rows of the shelves. Its guidance comes from the understanding of the unknown and the protection of hidden knowledge. The Hall of Revealed Mysteries was built to celebrate that. And Kana interrupts. To think there's such a place in the Deerwood. Incredible. I'd love a glimpse of the archives. How many secrets must sit upon these shelves? Well, fascinating, isn't it? Temples dedicated to Whale tend to hold vast stories of knowledge. We use that knowledge to unravel and preserve the mysteries of the well. Well, tell me about yourself. She throws her broad shoulders back. I am a scrivener and a devotee of Whale. It's my duty to look after our records and resources. Her chest swells with pride. Well, farewell. That was her, right? Fexa, yes. So who's Jani Haukala? or just Yani Hauka, as it says. You see nothing at first, inky darkness filling your vision. Then, the dust of eons flooding your nose. You hear a strike, and a torch gutters in the flame, revealing a man without a face and a library of books flickering in the dull orange glow. He moves to the closest shelf, sliding the torch into a socket, and gingerly pulls a black bound book into his trembling hands. He flicks through it, lovingly caressing each page before turning to the next. And the next. Finally, he finishes, placing the book in a satchel to his side and takes down the torch. He spends hours wandering, reading, collecting until his satchel is as thick as he himself and half as heavy, and begins to make his way back to the entrance. With a barely audible sigh, he draws two decaying doors closed, and the torch is extinguished. Okay. That seemed deadly. The books on these shelves cover the history and mythology of old Vaelia. Priest of Vale. Business around here took a hit when stalwart mines dried up. These days it's rare to find folks that'll do so much for strangers. I love the smell of old books, I've heard that one. The symbols on these pages writhe and shift. They're dizzying to look at. Okay. These titles all refer to Glanfather mathematics and advanced geometry. Did I read this one? Records of books borrowed and returned fill the copy holes. Yeah, I haven't seen that one. There's a scrivener in here. If you think these books are impressive, you should see what Grimda keeps in the back. Oh, interesting. Probably denied access to there, but let's check it out. Priest of Vale. Business around here took a hit when stalwart mines dried up. We've heard that one before. I feel like I'm not gonna hit these people anymore because they just say the same thing. The Travels of Errol of Levi, 2662 to 2268. Who's here? Grimda?
Well met, friend.
An elderly dwarf surveys the stacks. Her skin looks as tough and wrinkled as a walnut. Despite her stature, she manages to look down her nose at you. You are welcome to look around, but let the priests and scriveners continue their search. She shoots the nearest robed figure a withering glance. Wouldn't do to give them any other excuses. What are they looking for? Maybe I could find it. She sizes you up, stroking her chin. And I could trust you to bring it back, I suppose? She calls at the robed priestess again. You certainly don't do worse than this lot, anyway. The thieves made off with an ancient scroll of Vale. They intend to blaspheme by selling that which should remain hidden, a secret of the 100 visions. Her wiry eyebrows arch over her spectacles. The guards caught one of them, but were overzealous in their interrogation. All they could piece together was something about a farmhouse and the road to Deerford. Track the thieves down. I don't care what you do with them, but bring back the scroll. Whale reveals the persistent seeker, and so do I. An ancient scroll of Vale? There's a fine prize. I mean, a worthy task. What else do you need? Tell me about yourself. I am the High Archivist of Hall of Revealed Mysteries. She carves loudly into her fist. And I am all too old and too busy to be bothered with inane questions. Sorry. I'd like to know more about Vale. Her smile reveals a row of crooked teeth. That's the rub, isn't it? Vale is the god of things hidden and revealed. The more of the 100 visions one sees, the more one has yet to discover. Though we often call Vale he who seems and is not seen. It's neither male nor female. To assign any definitive characteristics to Vale is to miss another essential part of its divinity. 100 visions? A term of reverence for Vale's many revelations. Despite the name, they're infinite. Each epiphany leads to yet another enigma. And I thought I was busy. Questions about the missing scroll, sorry. Ask. Okay, let's start with, tell me what you know about thieves. Very little, except that they were foolish to believe they could steal from the God of Secrets. That, and they were fleeing to a farmhouse. What's so special about this scroll? Vale is the God of Secrets. If I told you that, it'd cheapen it, wouldn't it? I'd cheapen it, wouldn't I? She crackles. It's a parable. That kind of that nourishes the inquisitive mind and poisons the foolish. So how should I handle the never? However you can. Kill them, wrap them, leave them. It makes no difference. To me. She waves a hand and smiles grimly. I'll consider it one of Vale's mysteries. Let's talk about something else. There's nothing more. So well then. The Parable of Vale. A group of thieves stolen a scroll of Vale from the Hall of Revealed Mysteries in Defiance Bay. The High Archivist Grimda wants me to track down the thieves and discover the scroll. Sounds easy enough if we can find them. Anything else to do in here? Huh. Nothing more to do in here, really? So, we might as well just leave, but we got this quest. The Parable of Vale. About these thieves. To get the scroll back. We're not there yet, though. No idea where they are. We head out this way. See, we are closing in on the 1 hour mark. We're there shortly, but I would like to just check out the rest of this map. There's another 2 houses we have not explored. That's First Fires and the Catacombs. The Catacombs might trigger some combat if I know this kind of game correctly. If that's the case and it's a dungeon in itself, then we'll end the episode before diving into it. But for now, let's just head over to First Fires. Soldier. The expeditions out of Admet's den are just organized grave robbery. Well, this leads to a new map. Oh, it's because it's what? Seems I should be on the other side of this building. Oh, somebody's talking. Who was so lovely back then, Dalton says to himself. This elderly man paces back and forth, taking short, hobbled steps. His gaze is distant, and beneath it are the dark rings of many restless nights. He appears to be having a conversation with someone who isn't there. And the way you fought, cutting down 2 at a time. We shared quite a victory, you and I. Who are you talking to? The man looks up at you, startled. By the flame! For just a moment I thought I heard her. He puts a hand on his chest, catching his breath. What troubles you? Just the memories of my youth in the Northwatch Rangers. Trials and adventures from a lifetime ago. He shakes his head. Of late, the memory of lost battles and fallen friends has been especially vivid. Tell me about these memories. It's been nearly 60 years. We were known throughout the Deerwood then. We thought we'd adventure together, forever collecting copper and inspiring songs. He wrinkles around with his eyes deepen. That was until the faced Helic of Thane. He was a wizard whose experiments in necromancy left a trail of bodies, some reanimated, from Solace Vale to Midwood. We tracked him as he fled toward the Valian Republics, catching him just west of the Lake of the Drowned Tombs. Guess we're gonna go there sometime. We were fools. Seasoned as we were not prepared for his foul magic. Our numbers were nothing against his power. A wiser man would have ordered a retreat, but not me. By some curse of the gods, I was knocked out, and when I awoke, my rangers, my Rowena, they were all dead. He holds empty air in his arms. Who is Rowena? My friend, my comrade in arms, and my love. We planned to adventure together until we grew old enough to settle down and enjoy our fortunes. Young as we were, we couldn't imagine anything would tear us apart. I know this sounds like an old man's madness, but I hear her, a voice just over my shoulder, calling to me in my dreams. At night, I see her wandering the catacombs beneath the city, trying to escape. Yeah, I figured so much. There's something going on in those catacombs. Foolish as it sounds, I can't shake the idea that she's somehow down there, waiting for me. I've even ventured below, though it damn near cost me my life. He hesitates. Were I half the warrior I was in my youth, I'd search every grave and rat hole. As it is, I'm stuck with this feeble body and the agonizing notion that my love is somehow down there, beyond my help. I'll search the catacombs for a sign of Rowena. Tears spring to the old man's eyes. There's an entrance just southwest of here, on the other side of the canal. He sniffs and wipes his eyes. You're truly a gift from the gods, if there's anything you can find of her. So we need to go to the catacombs to find Rowena, and probably a lot of other things as well. We need to cross here and go in there, and I think that's where we're going to end the episode for today. For now, anyway. So this is the door to the catacombs, I think. Yep. So let us head in there. Well, not now. We have to talk to Skinflint over here first. You see an older dwarf counting coins behind a grimy shop window, hair limp with grease and sweat, a sneer playing around the edges of his pinched mouth. The bargains of the day lie scattered across the table, from tarnished, tawdry jewelry to an acid-encrusted dagger lying precautiously near the edge. His half-nose twitches in anticipation as a customer enters, a disheveled young noble, once white, doublet stained with a life gone wrong. Eyes dart behind him, searching for pursuit before he dumps the contents of his Hessian bag on the table. The dwarf leans forward, fingers flickering through the silverware and assorted goblets. He shakes his head emphatically, sneer fully settled. Shoving the items back at the man. The man pleads, begs, eyes rolling, panicked in their sockets, asking for something, anything, a few silvers. The dwarf leers and tosses 3 copper pans on the table. Despite the young noble's tears, a signet ring from his finger to the dwarf's ill-concealed delight. A few more coins go into the pile, and the defeated man, swearing stitches under his breath, exits the shop. The venerable dwarf grins at his good fortune, picking food out of his 2 sharp teeth as he examines his haul. Yeah, that's the privilege of a merchant that is not in that much of a need. So that was the end of this map. I'm going to go into the catacomb, and there we're going to end the episode. Let's just head in there first. Oh. Search for Rowena, a voice from the past. I think we're not going to start investigating anything now. We will do that next time. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Oops, sorry. Yeah, see you next time. Bye-bye.